Now, there's something that you guys might need to hear today. And it is the fact that the world is never going to actually show you the ideal version of your reality, your true self that you desire to be, until you do it first. Right now, there's two of you living inside your skin. Did you know that? You've got one who is, let's call it the sort of beggar version of self. And then we've got the other, which is our higher self, our empowered God self. And through your entire life, you'll probably notice that your relationships, your health, your bank account is simply all a reflection of which version of you at that moment has the platform, has the floor, has the microphone, speaks the loudest. So I want you to think about those two people that are residing within you for a moment. The first one is where a lot of us tend to dwell in for the most part, particularly when we've got a new desire that is close to our heart. It's really important. Or there's even deadlines and so much stress and pressure around it. So that version of self that we tend to fall into on default is every single day sending out a message to the universe, essentially, or whatever, is emitting this frequency that's all about hope, desperation. I mean, we've all been there, right? Haven't we? We've all been in this situation. God knows. I myself, even recently with my health, which has still been quite a struggle, found myself in that pleading, because you just do naturally. You get to that place of hopelessness. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But just understand what I'm saying to you, because we're going to turn things around in a really quick and effective and fun way today. So stick with me. Because often what's happening is the way that we have been taught to pray or to ask, it's often with a sense of pleading, of please God, please universe, I hope. Even how we speak on our day to day, I see it in the comment section, I hear it in my clients' voices. And every single time that version of ourselves is, it's trying harder, hoping more, praying louder, essentially what we're doing is we're just getting more and more skilled at this very art of pleading, this art of disempowerment. I mean, you've got to really keep close attention to this, because your relationship with the universe is actually just your relationship with your deepest self. That's how I want you all to view it, because I'm going to drop in some juicy gems in this video. Pay close attention. That sentence in itself should make you feel empowered, should remind you of who you are, the fact that everything is within you, okay? Because then if you start to treat yourself like someone who has to beg as a result of this, then the world is only ever going to mirror that back. Now I want you to think about the second person who's residing within you. The second person is also sending out a special message and frequency, but this time it's not a plea. Now, all of you have been this second person at some point in your life. All of you have. We've all done it before. Those of us who have manifest simply with a strong decision, which we all have at some point. That's when we stepped into this energy. That version of us is not pleading with an outside source. That version of us is sending a memo. It's short, calm, matter of fact, concise, succinct, determined. It's got a whole different energy behind it. It's a declaration of what is. This is going to be it. And the message doesn't just arrive. The message is so powerful that it rearranges reality all around you. So it's not a request at that point that just gets answered. It's actually a verdict that is getting executed in that moment. Do you see the difference? Do you hear the difference between the two? Now, as I've mentioned before, you have both of these messengers living inside of you right at this moment. And the quality of your entire life and your journey and how you experience the law, whether it's in your love life, whether it's in, like I say, your health, what else? What else do people manifest, right? Health, wealth, happiness, all of that. It basically all comes down to one simple thing. And the one thing is, who are you allowing to pick up the phone right now? Who are you allowing to have the more dominant voice? Who are you allowing to have the floor? So here's what we're going to do today, because this video is going to be very different from a lot of the stuff that you see and watch. A lot of it is just talking at you. A lot of it is sort of giving you this inspiration without giving you much information, without giving you the tools. But always here on the Deep Code, you know, I always go deep dive and I give you what you need. I don't just teach you the mechanics of it all. We demonstrate it here. So we're going to be active in this video, and I'm going to ask for your participation. So it's not going to just be to watch. We're all going to participate in this. So make sure you've got some time to yourself. You're not going to be what's the word, bothered anytime soon. And really keep this in, because this is going to be the game changer for people who have said, I don't know what it feels like to change state. This is like an instant state change, and I'm going to talk you through it. It's going to be fun, and I'm going to show you why even the most pious and heartfelt prayer is often the most powerless, and how a calm, simple decree can be the most powerful creative act in the universe. And most importantly, it's going to be tangible. You're actually going to feel something different. Okay, so that is my aim for today's video. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to get a bit fun and a bit silly with it as well, and to get motivated? I know that you are. And I promise you, you are going to feel that energetic shift between the two messengers. The way I'm going to display it to you, you're going to feel the contrast. So at least then you know you're not questioning if you're occupying the right state. You're really going to feel it within. Feeling is the secret in all of this. I'm not going by emotion, by the way. There's an actual sense of acceptance of it is done, a sense of strength behind it, a sense of peace and calm. Not faking it, not gaslighting yourself. It's genuine. And so by the end of this video, not only are you going to know which message you've been sending, but you will hold the master key to ensure that from this day forward, the only message that you're going to be sending is the kind of message that's going to be delivered and is going to be reflected. No more pleading, no more begging, no more hoping. Are you ready for it? Okay, so sit back, relax. It's Friday. Grab yourself a hot drink or a cool drink. It is quite a warm and muggy day here. Yes, I decided to give myself a bit of a different style, different colors, different extensions. It's just, you know, this is what happens, you see, when I change my state, it always gets expressed outwardly. I don't know what era I'm in at the moment. What era are you guys in? Cheers to all of you in your journey, and to your success, and to Mickey Mouse, because we've got to have a bit of Disney in there. So let's start off with something really key here. Understanding what manifestation is. I know that might seem really, really obvious, but trust me, sometimes in the comment section, and it's not necessarily actually you guys who watch on a regular basis, because I know people who find this channel are extremely intelligent. There are a certain caliber of manifester, and that's why we get such high success rates here. But I still do see comments made, and that's why it's so helpful for you guys to comment, speak from the heart, because I can help you, I can direct you to see this is the state you're coming from, this is the area that you need to work on based on your language, right? Because you're mostly kind of talking from that place of lack, from that place of hoping, from that place of begging. And so this is why it's important for us to understand what manifestation really, really is. And I keep reiterating it in every single video, but I'm doing it for a reason, because this is based on all the books that I've read, everything that I've studied, the 24 years of just testing and practicing the law. It can be summed up most effectively in the following succinct sentence: manifestation is the art of embodying the identity for which the world does not yet provide the evidence. The art of identifying, embodying the identity for which the world doesn't yet provide the evidence for. Really pay attention to that sentence, because it sums up everything. It sums up the fact that everything is a manifestation. It sums up the fact that as within, so without. It sums up the fact that there is only self. This is why we live in the wish fulfilled. This is why we imagine or use techniques to change state, not to change the outer world. You see, that sentence sums up everything. And I get it. Because like I said, I've been on this journey so many times. That's why when people say that I'm understanding and empathetic, it's because I'm not just throwing the law at you guys. I have lived, I've gone through some really tough situations in my life. No one's going to be immune to it just because they've come across the law. You know, it doesn't mean that, oh, just because I'm aware that of the law of gravity and how it works doesn't mean I'm not going to have a trip and a fall and a stumble sometimes with it, right? So I do understand the feeling that a lot of you have, that feeling of waking up to this kind of knot in the pit of your stomach where you're just feeling really anxious, and that sick feeling when you remember everything that's going wrong at the moment, whether it's worrying about how you're going to manage with your bills and finances, whether it's picking up your phone only to be met with a disappointment that that specific person, that name, that message is not there. Looking at your bank account and feeling anxious at the numbers that seem to be dwindling, you know, the cold dread that comes over you when you just wake up and you've got the same symptoms that are just persisting. I know, trust me. And in those moments of panic, you know, we do what we've been taught to do. We pray. We don't realize we're praying. And I don't mean from a religious sense of prayer. We don't realize that we're always praying. We start to hope. We start to send out these desperate wishes into the universe, like a message in a bottle that's just thrown into the storm, like, please, please, just let this be. Let's just hope that it's going to work out. I'll just try and be positive. Please just give me a sign that it's working. How many of you have been there? Even myself, I have been there, trust me. And I know that you're doing it with all the faith that you can muster. You're doing it with the best intention. But what if I told you that with hoping is a prayer for more things to hope for, and wishing is a prayer for more things to wish for. That's why we've got to be so careful not to get stuck into this loop, into this cycle that many of you get stuck into. Because your desperation, whilst it's completely understandable right now with your circumstances, it's actually the instruction to reality, to the universe, to God, to basically give you more situations that are going to warrant more desperation. Do you see how it works? Do you understand what I'm saying? This is critical. So think about it like this. The simplest way that I can explain the law to you, and some of you would have heard this analogy before, but think about it. When you go to a restaurant, okay, you're going to look at the menu and you decide what it is that you want. You call the waiter, and you call the waiter over, you kind of say to him, okay, I want the steak. I don't say, I really, really hope that you might bring me a steak. I'm really hoping that you will. And you don't say, oh, I wish I was worthy of the steak. I feel guilty because I want to have steak. We don't do that. But yet you're all doing that with your desires. That's what I've noticed with a lot of my clients. A lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of fear to even ask, a lot of hoping, a lot of wishing, a lot of waiting. But we don't do that. Okay, you don't stand outside the kitchen and pray that the chef is going to feel like cooking you a steak today. No, what we do is we decide, you place your order, and then you expect it to arrive. Once you've placed that order, what do? You get on with your life. You're not sitting there waiting for it, right? You are getting on with talking to your friends. You might have a bit of a drink, but you're operating from this place of calm certainty. I'm certain that my order has been received, that it's being prepared. I trust in that. I trust in the chef right now. So your life is essentially this restaurant. Your consciousness, if you want to call it God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it, that's the master chef. And it can create anything on the menu, but it can only prepare the dish that you definitively order, that you're sure of, that you want. And before you even place that order, when we're looking at the menu, we're imagining what it would be like. We're imagining the taste, or we're connecting to what it's going to be like or look like or what we fancy. We make the connection, we make the distinction, we make that decision with a different energy behind it. You and the universe, and you might want to jot this down, right? Listen, you and the universe are not in a conversation. And I think if many of you start to view it this way, this might be the game changer for you. So listen, you and the universe are not in conversation. You're one voice speaking through different masks. How does that make you feel? Because I was thinking about it. I was like, maybe we should approach this more from a sort of non-dual perspective. I'm not talking to a universe. There's no separation. It's me talking through different masks. There's no dialogue going on here. There's only expression, right? Expression of self. The infinite self is speaking to itself through the illusion of otherness. Make sense? Infinite version of self speaking to itself through that illusion of otherness, just an illusion of otherness. There is only self, right? So this is why you don't need to convince reality. This is why you don't need to convince reality. Do you get it now? Because you're the reality. You are the reality remembering itself. You are the reality remembering itself. So there's no need to have a dialogue of anything. There's no need to try and do techniques to change the 3D reality. There's nothing out here to change. It's all within. And this is why a decree is so important and so powerful, and why people can manifest with a simple, strong decision, why you've all done it before. Because in that moment, when you made that strong decision, whether it was from sheer anger or frustration or just being super decisive, you're speaking not as someone who is seeking something, but you're speaking as source. I am speaking in that moment as source, and I'm in full remembrance of myself, of my power in that moment. Do you get it? That's the energy that you're looking for. So look at your life. For your specific person, your finances, for your health, have you been ordering with that energy, or have you been hoping? Be honest with yourself, because you could be doing all the techniques, but you could be sticking yourself in that loop of lack, consistently saying on autopilot, speaking from the subconscious that, you know, I hope this, I wish for that. Now, most people will spend their entire lives standing, going back to the restaurant analogy, for example, we'll stand at the world's greatest restaurant and we'll be starving whilst telling the chef, just bring me whatever you think I deserve. And the universe, which is only ever going to reflect, this reality is only reflecting, is only your expression being reflected back. It's only going to reflect back that sense of your sense of lack of self-worth or lack of self-trust, or here you go, here's the scraps, get what you're given. Now, Neville Goddard said it really, really well when he said, and I adore this quote from Neville Goddard. Jot this juicy gem because it is a good one. He said that you are already that which you want to be. And your refusal to believe it is the only reason that you do not see it. You are already that you wish to be. You're already that. The only reason you don't see it is just your refusal to accept it, to believe it in. And that's not to say that we have to believe 100% in our manifestations, but for that moment that I am declaring, decreeing, embodying, I'll believe that I am that for that moment. Now, the power is not in hoping, as you know, the power is in deciding. The word decide literally means to cut off, right? So you're going to cut off all the other possibilities. You're going to get clear on what you want, not what you think you can have, but clear on what you actually want. Because a lot of people are afraid to even ask for what they want because they think that they don't deserve it, or they think they're not going to get it, and that they think that we just stick to what we think we can have all the time. That's why people settle for jobs and career prospects and financial prospects and stuff based on what this is what I think I can have, this is what I think is realistic for me. They don't think greater. This is why not everyone is multimillionaire in a mansion if they decide that they want that. So I want you to think of it as just accumulating that calm certainty of someone who's just ordering their favorite meal. You place your order, you decide that it's yours. And I get it, trust me, that when it's something that you might have a lot of attachment to, oh, ladybugs. When it's something that you really have a lot of attachment to, you might have some trauma related to it. Especially, I know that manifesting specific people or just relationships and love in general can really bring out that stuff. I understand it's not going to maybe be as easy to decide. You can change it with a decision. You absolutely can. I have done that before too. After a state of trauma and post-traumatic stress, it was mostly with a strong decision that came out of that. A decision that I just kept making in light of what the 3D circumstances were showing me, which I can tell you were the opposite and were horrific. And I've shared that story with you. I'll share with you again if you want. So The idea is not that you scream it or force it. The idea is not that you repeat it a million times a day like you've got some sort of amnesia going on. You literally just have to decide with that energy behind it, finally, with that level of acceptance. So, enough talk. Let's do it. Let's actually do something. Let's play. Let's play. We're going back to childhood now. So I'm going to walk you through a little experiment, and it might feel a bit silly for a second. I get it, but just stick with me, because the feeling you're about to have is more important than 1,000 books that you could read up on this subject. Now, I call this the God voicemail protocol, and I'm going to give you the steps and we're going to go through it. Okay, so are you ready to engage? Let's do it. Have yourself a drink. Cheers again. Here's to us. Success, healing, happiness, love. You're all on the bridge. And we'll start with step one. So step one is going to be the Beggars voicemail. We've already introduced you to the beggar side of us, right? So I want you to think of something that you desperately want. Just take a moment to think about, what is it that you desperately want right now? And now I want you to say loudly within yourself, or speaking it if you want to, either way is fine. But in that sort of quiet, hopeful, desperate, the desperate voice that we all know, like the voice that you use whenever you're really worried about something. I'm getting all the creepy crawlies like flying around me. So try it with me. I'm going to use money as an example, just to switch it up a bit. So say to yourself, oh, universe, God, source, whatever, I really hope I can pay my rent this month. Like, please, I just need a little help. It would be so great if some money could come through, please. Now stop. Feel that for a second. I just want you to get acquainted with the energy of that. I can still even hear my voice, that kind of desperate, pathetic sort of tone even. Sit with that energy. Just be aware of it. It feels kind of heavy, doesn't it? It feels sad. Doesn't feel like there's any sort of strength behind it. It leaves you with a sense of anxiety. You feel like you're a child asking for permission, right? It's the energy of powerlessness. Get acquainted with it. Now, we're going to interrupt that. Step two is the pattern interrupt, right? So, okay, we're going to say, right, enough of that nonsense. And I want you, every time you notice yourself going into this victim mode, enough of that nonsense. Stop, pattern interrupt right there. And literally get physically involved, get the body involved, shake it out. I mean, dogs do that when they have a little, I noticed that with Coco. If he accidentally trips or does something, he just shakes his whole body, just shakes out the anxiety. It's like he just shakes off the moment. So just shake off the moment, shake it out of you. Stand up a bit straighter if you want to, or sit up a bit straighter. Roll your shoulders back. Take a deep, powerful, cleansing breath. We're breaking the pattern, the cycle of that sort of pathetic, pleading, hoping, wishing energy. And, we're noticing that, okay, in that moment, I just left a voicemail as a really worried, anxious, weak human being. So now we're going to leave the voicemail from the perspective of the gods that we are, from the perspective of being the architects of your reality. All of you are the architects, all of you are the master coders right here, right? Be it, act like it. You're the one who signs the checks here. Remember, so you reminded yourself, step three is now going to be the architect, the CEO, the God, source, whatever you want to call it. That version of you's voicemail. So I want you to take the exact same desire, which is going to be about the financial stability, paying the rent, right? But this time you're going to speak from a place of absolute calm, unshakable authority. We're not going to be loud about it. We're not going to be weak about it. We're not going to be aggressive with it. Just very decided. The voice that you use, kind of voice that you would use actually to give an instruction that you know will be followed without question, which we've all done at some point. There's something that we're very good at giving orders and decisions, making decisions, and that for certain things in our life, all of us have something that we are confident about in that sense. even if it's ordering your favorite meal. So just connect with that. And then say this within yourself or verbally if you wish to. And I want you to feel the difference in your chest as you say it. Pay close attention. The rent for this month is handled, it's taken care of. The funds are settled. That matter is closed. End of message. That's it. It's short, sweet, to the point. Because when you are confident, whenever I've made a decision like that's it, that's it, I'm not smoking anymore, or that's it, I'm going to lose weight, whatever it is, right? Short and sweet. We're not over explaining ourselves. Hold on to that feeling. Just hold it. Remember what I've said about how important it is. It's not just what you do. That 5 minutes after counts as well. Just hold that feeling. Do you feel the difference? One is a plea and the other is more of a verdict, right? One is begging for reality to happen to you and the other is simply a declaration of a reality that already is. You're not asking, you were informing. That's very different. You're not asking, you're simply informing. That's the only prayer that matters in all of this. That's the shift that takes you from hoping to deciding. So you just experienced in your own body right now the energetic difference between being the creation and being the creator. Really, really different distinction right there. Being the creation, it's kind of like at the mercy of something out there. Being the creator, happening through you, not to you. So let's bring all of this home. Because what did you think of that exercise? Did that help to bring a bit of a distinction? Test it out with other desires and just get used to feeling the energy shift. Because that's what I say when I'm working with my clients, when we shift their state, sometimes they have occupied that state for so many years, subconsciously. So when they shift, that's why I say it's a lot of wow. It's a lot of silence sometimes where they're just getting used to this new feeling that feels quite alien. They always say to me they feel lighter, they feel a sense of peace, calm, because these heavy emotions of like begging and not being it and being misaligned with your desire, it's heavy. It is heavy. So get accustomed with the feeling of that. Test it out with other desires too. Just get used to coming from that place of authority and feeling like you're the one who's in control. Alleviates a lot of the anxiety, right? So the secret is this. It's the relationship that you have, or it's about the knowing that the relationship that you have, say with God, source, universe, is essentially the relationship that you're having with your deepest self. Not an outside source. It's the relationship you're having with your deepest self. That's it. You know, you're the materialization of that power that resides within you. You're the manifestation of that. So when you're pleading, when you're telling yourself, I am someone, you know, in that moment that, you know, when you're telling yourself like, I am wishing, I am hoping and stuff like that, I'm exhibiting the identity of someone that has to beg and has to hope, and it's like, you know, up to the roulette wheel to decide what number it lands on. I have more control than that. I control what state I occupy. I control always how I wish to see this, what identity to embody. So when you're deciding in that moment, you're essentially telling yourself, I am someone whose decision is law. And your only work is to align with that internal state. That's it. Align with that internal state and reality will do the rest. Reality bends to you, not the other way around. Stop leaving prayers like you're some desperate person chasing after their ex. Start leaving voicemails like you are the architect, you're the CEO, you're the one in charge, right? You're not asking for a callback even. You're simply stating, this is how it's going to be. And this is it. This is how it's going to be. You make that decision. You might have to make that decision a couple of times. Fine, do it. It's not a request though. It's a decision. So as long as you're embodying the right energy, then less repetition is less repetition is needed, sorry. So does that make sense? Does that help you guys out? I hope so, because I know that this can be an issue for many people and can cause a lot of anxiety. I think sometimes just understanding what manifestation is, understanding how the law works, understanding that everything is within you, it gives you back that sense of power. Okay, we can't control everything that happens outside of us. We can't, and we don't need to. Let this mirror unfold in whatever way it needs to unfold. You control how you see it, how you perceive it. You control your identity. That's all that matters. Reality shifts and bends straight away. Immediately it does that. So trust in yourself. Go out there and decide. Comment in the comment section below what your latest success stories are, because remember, I want to hear it. Email me your success stories as well. I'll put them up on the website or share them with the community here. And comment below, what have you decided? What is your decision that you are going to decree to yourself? Let me know how you get on. Test it out with smaller manifestations as well. See how you go. Love you guys. Appreciate you. See you in the next video.